How did you get over suicidal thoughts? Serious? I melt down in front of my parents, telling them I wanted to commit suicide, and gave only one of the many reasons why I felt that way, even though that particular reason was not exceptionally significant at all. That got them to start caring about me. Albeit only for that night. A few days afterwards, even my dad doubted I really wanted to do it, saying that I only used that to get his attention. Oh well, whatever it is, I got over it and put my effort into getting a scholarship, and I got it, and I'm studying abroad in New Zealand right now. Whatever it was that drove to feeling suicidal, some of the problems such as social anxiety and low self-esteem still plagues me today. At times, I feel like I just want to turn off the switch and just go into eternal rest. I feel so disconnected from people around me, even my parents and my siblings. My girlfriend is unpredictable. My friends are Philosophically, I have nothing against people taking their life. Perhaps, it sounds to you that all I did was postpone the decision. Maybe if you are considering doing it, perhaps like me, you should postpone them. Things may be more clearer at the end of the tunnel. I was suppressing a lot of feelings. To get over my severe depression, I had to go for it and just fix the problem, which for me was coming out as transgender. I've climbed out of that dark place and haven't been back since. I have accepted I'm a coward and would never end my life, so that's what made the thoughts go away. I found music to be very helpful. Also, I thought I'm going to die one day anyway and death is inevitable, why not see what happens until then? Here I am 6 years later, very pleased with myself. Hard to explain, but I pretty much stopped caring about others. I decided that what others want and like does not matter. The only thing I cared about was myself. What do I want? What do I like? And then slowly start working on that. From there I slowly started working on myself. I've become more outgoing, started caring less about what other people think, and I'm overall more happy. I was always afraid of disappointing others, making them sad. Caring too much about what other people think, it held me down. But as long as I'm happy with myself, then nothing else matters. I do 3 things. Meditation, keep myself busy, focus, and spend time with my son. I tried getting hit by a car because that was the only way of killing myself, which I wasn't afraid of to do. However, the car hit the brakes in time and didn't hit me, resulting in me just running away. I think a certain person I knew at the time saw this, because the next day, out of nowhere, he got incredibly friendly and wanted to hang out with me. I agreed and had what most likely was the first pleasant evening I've had in years. We became good friends, and through him I met more people that were actually nice to me. He helped me build more confidence and I started enjoying life again. To this day I don't know if he did it because he knew my situation or because he genuinely wanted to hang out with me, but what I do know is that he saved my life. Like most people here, I didn't. Not really. There's still a pain, there's still a thought that an end may be easier. But I remind myself that that end offers no promises, and could well be absolute. Life offers joy, albeit sometimes floating among great suffering. There is a moment in the sun to be had, and the other side offers a vast nothing, uncertainty if I'm being optimistic. The potential of nothing is so much worse than a sea of pain. Nothing chills me to the bone more. So I turn away, and face the world again each time, standing against the tide, not boldly, but desperately. If you're religious, I don't have much to offer you. I find solace in my faith of sorts, but I'd be a much less certain fellow if I thought there would absolutely be another life waiting. Godspeed, take care of yourself, you have people who care, even if you don't know us. I find work gets me through most days now. I still struggle with the routine and mundane aspect of my job. I work in medical records and archiving. But anyway, for now this gets me by. Just having to do work and be out of bed etc. really picked me up. Well, you can make it binary for yourself like I did. Are you brave enough to kill yourself? Most are not. If not, then live your life without excuses. Love, hurt, live and breathe every day. Make it binary for yourself. If you really care about others, then don't do it. Refer to above post. Ultimately you'll have very bad days. On those days, it's best to do something you wouldn't normally do. Even if that means getting out of bed early. I realized that I am gonna die anyway, regardless of what I do. So might as well use the time while I am alive to do something that I like. You never do. I have plans right now. But then there's a dawn. Someone tell me. I've resorted to getting money through stripping and living out of a cheap motel, getting plastered every night and bought 6 boxes of diphenhydramine pills last night. I am spending Christmas alone and don't have a family or friends. I give up so hard. I reminded myself that I am the product of 4 billion years of evolution. It was my daughter. One day at my lowest I was thinking I needed to get her stuff ready so she could go live with my parents. Anyway, later that same day she tells me about a conversation she had with the neighbors. She was 8 at the time. The neighbors had a cousin staying with them. He was only about 16, because his mother had kicked him out, and my daughter said that my mum would never do that, she would never leave me. Well, that was a big slap in the face too, and made me realize how selfish I was being, and now I know I would never do that to her. She saved me. I grew up. In my case, my suicidal thoughts weren't truly a desire to kill myself, they were a way of self-soothing my angst and need to be dramatic. I would imagine myself dead and people, parents, mostly, at my funeral despondent over my death and wishing they would have acted differently and appreciated me more while I was alive. Once I got older I realized how childish I was, which, in my defense, was because I was a teenager, and simply outgrew those thoughts. Make sure that you check with the doctor that you are medically healthy. You may have a medical condition which is causing your suicidal thoughts. I was going to kill myself by walking into a lake and drowning myself, and I was just about to step in, then I suddenly shook my head and realized WTF was I doing, and it turned out I had a hormone imbalance which was causing depression. I'm happily married now, so things can and will turn around. Smile. Part of it was that I did not want to put my family through experiencing a suicide. Another was that my mother saw the warning signs early on and got me medication and therapy. The main reason, though, is that I didn't want to die. I wanted to live. I wanted to live how I wanted to live. And it would be extremely hard but partially worth it, so I tried to do that. Eventually I ended up satisfied enough with my life, and that is where I am now. Not happy, but I can get there. You can always get there. I am also devoting my life to others. I am going to be a mental health counselor. Knowing I didn't waste my life, but I'm helping others make their lives better, makes me feel like living is better than dying. I usually think of people much worse off than me who are not having suicidal thoughts. I exercised and changed my diet. I recognized eating lots of meat increased my anxiety and stress level a lot. Nihilism. I still have them every now and again, but I think to myself, dying would be just as useless as living. I like to think that life sucks but can be fun, and death just sucks. Here's how I overcame it. I accidentally came across a channel called Inspiring Philosophy. This, along with many other factors, led to me believing in God and accepting Jesus as my savior. Once I understood God's love for me, I don't struggle with loneliness, lack of meaning, or lack of purpose. Now I felt God's love as a personal divine experience, and I've joined a church that has some really nice people. I'm learning to love others and serve others, which I think is so important. Living for myself didn't work. I had a God-sized hole in my heart that nothing in the world could fill. Everything up until I became a Christian just was like putting tape over the hole and trying to live like it wasn't there. No distractions could do it. The world was never supposed to be like this, with all its suffering. The Bible just explains things that make sense to me. This is a fallen world, and we were made in God's image. Everyone has value. If any suicidal people are reading this, consider pursuing Jesus with all of your heart. You will find him. What have you got to lose? For me, parkour/mountain biking really helped with suppressing the thoughts. I still get them occasionally, but it doesn't happen as often as when I was early in my middle school career.